Princess with Jade Sterling. I'm your host, Jade Sterling, a perimenopausal woman who once found herself sitting in her car wondering what the purpose of life even was, at a time where it felt like that there was a mist over my body, mind, and spirit. The world was telling me that perimenopause had arrived and I was expected to surrender the next 10 years or so to survival, to ride the wave, to just get through it. But as a Generation X warrior, I knew there had to be another way. So I went searching for something to believe in, for something, anything to feel better. What I found was a compass, a map, and a process. Now I'm here to lead others out of the mist, out of the silence of the patriarchy, and into the highest level of personal power available to us. A portal into a version of yourself that you may not even know exists yet. With my experience as a women's health nurse, coach, and almost 5 decades of life as a human being, I'm honored to be your guide on this journey. Be prepared to feel inspired, empowered, and reawakened as I guide you out of the mist and into the next most powerful chapter of your life. Join me as we explore the stories, secrets, and strategies to help you reclaim your power, purpose, and peace in perimenopause. Hello, welcome to episode 1 of the Rise and Rise of the Perimenopausal Princess with Jade Sterling. I'm your host, Jade Sterling. I've made it to episode 1. You have made it to episode 1. This is a joyous moment for us to drop in and exhale. And there's nothing left to do now, really. We've made it here. And the only thing we have to do now is to feel better. That's why I'm here. Now, if you know me and you're familiar with the work that I do and you're watching the YouTube video, you'll see that my office and studio space is exactly the same. If you're listening to the audio, you'll hear that my voice is exactly the same. But something is different. Something has shifted for me in my journey, and I want to take you with me on a journey to feel better, choose freedom, achieve our goals. And that's why I'm here. And that's why I want you to come with me. It's so funny, really, because for years I've been watching other random people on the internet sharing tips and tools and tricks and secrets and stories about their own personal transformations and how they make their lives rock this world. And I've taken bits and pieces from that and implemented it into my life and had huge personal transformations without even meeting these people. Some of them I've met, which has been amazing, incredible, and heightened the experience for me. But others I haven't. And one day I just woke up and decided that I needed to be one of those people because that's how I learn. I now want to facilitate this for other people. And all I can tell you right now is that I'm a 47-year-old woman in the throngs of perimenopause and midlife. I'm raising children. I'm growing a business. I'm navigating a 20-year relationship now. I'm trying to grow and elevate myself in a way that blows my own mind because already in the last few years, I have come so far in my own personal growth and development. And I've been able to share it with other people who have also had pretty amazing experiences too. And I just want this to grow. I want to share it bigger. So here I am in not the rise and fall of perimenopause, which is originally what I was going to call this podcast and video series, but the rise and rise of the perimenopausal princess, which to me gave me such an internal feeling of power. And I felt like I needed to share this with other perimenopausal women out there who may not even see how powerful they are. And the princess that's really trying to evolve into a queen. Let's just do this together. You may have found me on Instagram, which at the moment is where I'm sharing my day-by-day journey. I've started a $10,000 experiment where I'm looking to make $10,000 in a month to support my family. I lost my job. Technically, I lost my job last month where I had a secure, stable weekend job as a nurse, working in a hospital. My background is in women's health, reproductive and sexual health. I'm working in community health at the moment, or I was. And suddenly the work started to dry up. There wasn't as much work out there for me. But also I found a moment on the inside where I felt like I wasn't showing up as the nurse that I wanted to. Inside my mind, the only way I can explain it is that I felt like I was screaming at my patients with all the love in my heart. There is more to it than just what's happening with our bodies. And my job is to help people deal with their bodies. And some nurses would say, and their minds and their mental health. But this is not my experience in my current setting as a public health community nurse. It was really just a focus on the physical body as a machine, how we could fix a machine, which is so important. And I have so many skills, knowledge, and experience in this field. But the missing piece for me was what was happening in my mind, in my heart, and in my being. And I needed to share that with people. And I found people online who, when I started sharing my story through my social media journey, other people could resonate, could relate, could understand, and wanted to know more. So here I am. I'm going to back right up though and take you back to the beginning of my story, how I even got here in the first place. And this episode for today really is about the first stage of the journey. But this is not just a random journey. This is actually a very intentional, conscious journey that I'm going through. But I haven't scripted it. I haven't scripted these episodes. I haven't really scripted my journey. It still is a bit on the fly, improv, happening in real time. But this is the beauty of bringing in the structure of what I have learnt and implemented into my own life to create results where I actually feel happy. I don't just say that lightly, because let's back up now. It was about 5 years ago, and I was in a place where I was really struggling to connect in my marriage, find the peace and the purpose in it at all. I felt like the parent that I was showing up at was a miserable excuse for a human being, and was not finding that fulfilling or worthwhile. Didn't feel like I was actually helping my children in any way. Felt like I was failing them. I was in industrial disputes in my workplace, and it was terrifying and anxiety riddled and very hard. And I felt like I didn't really have the support that I needed to get through it. I don't know if maybe you are at this time right now. This is the time I call my rock bottom, where I felt completely out of control of my life. And perhaps you're in this now. Perhaps you've had this experience where you just feel like you're trying so hard and you're exhausted. It's that tired but wired. And you're trying your best, and your best just isn't good enough because you feel like everything's falling apart and it feels pointless. Like, why am I getting up out of bed every day? And getting out of bed is really hard. And I had this moment. I reached out to a friend 5 years ago. We had this conversation on the phone, and I was verbally vomiting all of my thoughts and my feelings out to her. And with all the love in her heart, I am sure, she said to me, we're in perimenopause now. Now, this term wasn't really the buzzword that it is right now, but menopause wasn't even on my radar. 5 years ago, what was I, 42? So when she said perimenopause, now I'm a women's health nurse by trade. Of course I'm familiar with this term, but it's not something that we were openly discussing, even with the women who were coming in to the clinic that I was working at previously, where I was working in a one-on-one setting, and then out in the community where I'm working in a generalist setting. We weren't talking about this. A 40-year-old woman or older would come in and speak to me and talk to me about all her symptoms. And the line that I had been trained to give her was, "You're over 40 now. Things change. There's not much that you can do about it." And I knew this in my mind. But when my friend said to me, we're perimenopausal now, this is the time of life that we're in. This is the time of life that your hormones take over. They take hold of the wheel. They're running the show now. We just have to step back. We have to surrender to what's happening and ride the wave. And we will get through it because we are Generation X warriors and we will make it through. But we just have to surrender to what is right now and that we don't have control. And look, I pause and I need to exhale myself because I felt that those words go so deep within me. And the way I've explained it in the past, I've had challenging times in my life. You know, my 20s, I was trying to find myself, my identity, and who I was in my career. In my 30s, I had my babies, recalibrate myself in the world as a mum and as a wife. I never thought I'd be putting on those hats. We'll be talking more about that. And then in my 40s, I was navigating hormones now, perimenopause, different challenges and things that I couldn't even see and that I had no control over. The other times in my life that were challenging, I still was able to push and fight through it. But this, it felt like my internal pilot light had gone out. It was the first time I actually felt like I sunk into what I call feeling depressed. And I sat there in my car after talking to my friend, really wondering what was the purpose of all of it. If I was just supposed to surrender my life to unpredictable thoughts, feelings, and experiences inside my body as well as outside in my life, what was the point of that? I couldn't, I can't even still find the words. But have you had that experience before? Do you know what that feels like? To feel extinguished, to feel disempowered, to feel like you are powerless. No matter what you do. Now, in that moment, I still had a voice inside me somewhere, deep down at the bottom of the well, that said, no, you are a Generation X warrior who knows that there's something that you can do. There is a control that you can take. There is action that you can engage in. There must be, because otherwise there is no point. So that became my journey to look for a way to feel better. And that was my goal. So I have introduced this video series as a way to elevate ourselves to a journey, a version of ourselves, a dimension of ourselves that is beyond what we can imagine, is amazing, powerful, incredible, creative. But at the time that I started this journey for myself, I just wanted to simply feel better. So whether you are at that stage of your own journey that you just need to find relief and peace, you are in the right place. Whether you are in a place where you feel better, you have peace, you have certainty within yourself that you know you're going to be okay, what's next? You are also in the right place. And if you have been developing at the speed of light and you are ready to build a foundation to launch rockets into creating a version of yourself that exists out there in the universe, that you just want to see what you're capable of, you are also in the right place. I have been in all of those stages. We are all simultaneously living in all of those stages at any one time. But each time we go back to a place where we want to start again and we want to step into a new version of ourselves, we start right back at the beginning of the heroine's journey. And so we have to go back to the start. So I created a circuit for myself where I have 6 steps that I go through, where I decide what it is I want to achieve right now, where I then evaluate exactly where I am in space and time. I then look at where it is I want to go. I then program my brain, which is my GPS, that helps me take my location, plug in my destination, and then I have a map that gets me from where I am to where I want to go. Then I follow that map and I do the things that I need to do to get me there. It is a 6-step process that I have called the positive energy circuit. It is a 6-step rinse and repeat cycle that once I get to and achieve the goal that I have set at the very beginning of this circuit, then I can start again, set the next goal, go on to achieve that. I have done this for myself over the last handful of years, and the circuit gets stronger, my brain gets clearer, and my results come faster. Right now, did I mention already that I have started a financial journey and a financial goal of creating $10,000 experiment that I am day by day taking you with me on my social media journey. So follow me on Instagram if you want to see how I'm packing that in the micro moments on a daily basis. These episodes are to flesh out what's happening week for week of wherever I am on my positive energy circuit and share it with you so that you can take something out of that and implement that into your life and create the same results. Not the same results. Your results are going to be different from me because your goals are going to be different from me and your wants and needs and desires are going to be different from me. But the process is exactly the same. I'm going to be sharing to you how I created the positive energy circuit. I'm going to be sharing how I'm moving through it myself. From a space where everything was foggy and a mist had set over me to a space now where I have such clarity for the process, but the mist still comes in whenever I set a goal, and we still have to locate where we are in space and time to navigate through the mist to get us to where we want to go. So if you want to elevate yourself physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially, in any way, come along with me on this journey. You can hear my energy must be up because my dog is now excited. Can you hear him barking out there? He's like, this is the perks of having a home studio. What can I say? He's excited for me, for you, for us. Now, I do just want to set the scene a little because what changed for me to be creating this kind of new body of work that is just an upgrade of my old work is that after running a reset retreat for 10 amazing women on the 30th of August 2025, I had my own amazing personal transformation. And the best way that I can think to explain it to you is through the story that I recently read with my nearly 13-year-old and my 9, nearly 10-year-old. So kids get older. Life is like a video game, isn't it? Where you're like playing at a certain level and then just go to a new level and there's new rewards, but new conflicts and obstacles to conquer. And it's like, I could go on and I will go on, but stick with me. So has anybody read The Del Toro Quest by Emily Rodda? Oh my gosh, I love the books my kids are reading. Percy Jackson, Wings of Fire, Harry Potter, come on. This is how we can live our lives and keep ourselves inspired. It's the hero's journey. I am slightly shifting it to the heroine's journey because this is the journey of a woman. And a woman in her midlife trying to get through the mud and the dust and the darkness of things that she cannot see, her hormones, to conquer, to be able to be the heroine, to be able to be the conqueror of the story. And so in the Del Toro Quest, Leaf learns that everything is not what he thought that it was. And there is a mist that are covering the eyes of the people who live in the palace and the people who live in the country that he lives, Deltora. The country doesn't feel like the right word because it's a land. It's a magical, mystical land. Now, instead of explaining to you the Deltora quest, I'm going to explain to you how I see perimenopause and women in the world of today. So perimenopause is the quest. It is the journey that we have to go on. But we are the main characters of the story as women. And there is a mist that is the shadow lord, that is the darkness, that is covering our body, mind, and spirit, that is obstructing the clarity of how we can have control over our journey, over our thoughts, our feelings, and our actions to help us actually enjoy, expand, evolve, and elevate at this time of our lives. And I feel that that mist is the narrative of the patriarchal society that we live in. Now, that may seem a bit like a heavy mist to feel like you can't see because of that, but it is just mist that I've found a compass and a map, and I have a torch, a flashlight that I can actually break through the mist to show us the path of where we've got to go. Now, when I got to the end of the Deltora quest, I read all 3 books with my children, and I realized at the end, the Shadow Lord does not disappear. He is not conquered. The evil is not destroyed. And at first I was like, oh my, that is so sad and depressing that we can't get rid of the evil things, that they still remain and they still have the potential to get in and not only infiltrate us, but other people, even when we've seen the light and we want to show other people the light, other people aren't going to see it. But do you know what is the most empowering thing is that the darkness doesn't disappear, but our consciousness knows beyond that mist. And then that becomes our quest to be able to continue to shine the light that leads the way for others. And so while we cannot defeat the Shadow Lord and the darkness doesn't disappear, in a way that's good news because we don't ever arrive. If we thought that the Shadow Lord could be destroyed, we would constantly be striving. We would constantly be trying to get to this goal that will make us feel better. But what I want to offer to you right now is to drop into this moment. The mist is always going to be there, but the path is always going to be there too. And the tools are there. If you want to follow me on this journey, that I can show you how to use them so that you can still see the path within the mist. And this is why we need to drop into each moment. Know that each moment is a moment of certainty, a moment of clarity, and a moment of arrival. Can you hear that? That's my son's alarm to wake up. This is my offer to you to wake up. I feel that this is synchronistic. And to follow me on this journey. And to follow yourself, most importantly. This is week 1 where we reconnect, realign, recalibrate, and realize that even the things that appear to be going wrong are actually perfect and working just for you. Life is not working against you. It's not even working with you. It's working for you. This is time to own your path, create your peace. Let's wake up. Now the dog's barking. I can hear the bin truck out there. This is real life, folks. Thank you so much for coming with me on this journey. Join me next week and we'll see where we go from here. Follow me on Instagram for my $10,000 experiment where I'm looking to make $10,000 in 1 month to support my family. This is the first stage where I'm using money as a source of cultural power to step into that alignment as a perimenopausal woman navigating the throngs of midlife. Love you. Thanks for being here. Have a beautiful rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. And that's a wrap on this episode of The Rise and Rise of the Perimenopausal Princess with Jade Sterling. I'm your host, Jade Sterling. If this episode landed, resonated, or even cracked something open inside you, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, or share it with a fellow midlife warrior. If you're ready to dive deeper and join me on this quest towards power, purpose, and peace in perimenopause, check out the show notes and get your free Positive Energy Circuit mini power session, your map out of the mist and into the next version of you. Until next time, I'm Jade Sterling, and this is The Rise and Rise of the Perimenopausal Princess with Jade Sterling.